Welcome to the channel, this is Ben, and today we'll be doing the Studio Series Night Bird custom. This is one very tough custom that a lot of you have actually requested. So basically today's video will be in two portions. The first portion will be doing the modification and the upgrade kit. In the second portion we'll be doing the painting. So let's go check out some plastic. For the first step, we'll remove the center portion of the chest. This is the part that is preventing the chest from closing up. Using a cutter, slowly cut out the centerpiece bit by bit so that you do not make a mistake. We are almost done, but do not fully remove everything yet. Now let's take a quick look again. At this point, we want to remove the tabs on the joints. And after you're done with the tabs, we will cut out the remaining portion and separate the hood into two moving parts. Clean up the uneven parts with a hobby knife. Alternatively, you can clean up by sanding it down with sandpaper. And if you have done the steps correctly, at this point you should be able to close up the chest. To ensure that the two newly separated chest pieces do not move around, we will be adding magnets to the inner side so that they stay secured. And I did a shake test to make sure that the magnets work. Alright, we're finished with the chest modifications, so let's move on to the arms. For the first part of the arm modification, we will cut out the hands. And next you can use a cutter or hobby knife to remove the uneven parts and sand it down with a sandpaper to make sure that the surface is flat. For this hand modification, we will be using the Trumpeter Starscream kit. I'm so sorry Starscream, we're gonna take your hands, but don't worry, you still have your closed fist ones. And now we'll create the socket with the Kotobukiya parts. Do a test fit before you cut out the part and make sure that the hand fits. Remember to use a file or sandpaper to remove the screw marks. And I've also shortened the part by sanding it down. And similarly, we shortened the male plug on the Starscream open palm. Next, we will add magnets to the open palm so that Nightbird can hold the sword. Remove some excess plastic from the inner side of the hands so that the magnet will sit firmly. Now remove the open palm from the Kotobukiya part, and we'll glue the Kotobukiya part to the Nightbird forearm that we prepared earlier. Repeat the process on both sides and you have a pair of very beautiful elongated arms, like this. And with that, we finished the arms modification, and let's go take a look at the swords. To start off the modification for the sword, we will first trim the front part using a cutter. This is to give a sharp look to the tip of the blade. After you're done, remember to sand down with sandpaper. Next, we'll remove excess plastic from the handle of the sword. And we'll be adding magnets to the handle so that we can attach them to the open palm that we've prepared earlier. Now let's do a shake test to make sure that the sword we've just prepared attaches firmly to Nightbird's open palms. And yes, everything seems to be attached firmly, so let's move on to the head modifications. Now as you can see, there's a lot of plastic at the bottom part of the helmet. This is obstructing the movement of the head, so we're gonna remove all that. After you've removed the excess plastic, the tip of the helmet will be a bit sharp, so we're gonna remove that as well. And this is what you'll get. A smaller head but with more rotation. Clean up the cut marks with sandpaper before reattaching it back to the body. Okay, and we're finished with the head modification, so the next part will be the upgrade kit. Let's do some YouTube magic and call out the Team Studio upgrade part and start attaching them to the Studio Series Night Bird. And there you go, the upgraded Night Bird. So not only will be using the upgrade kit, but we'll also be modifying the upgrade kit. As you can see, the claw feet are clearly not here in the upgrade kit. So to fix that, I made little plastic toe claws which we'll glue on to the feet. And next we'll put a small magnet on each wing so that we can attach the swords when they are not in use. And that's all the modification and upgrading that we'll do to Night Bird. So before we start the painting, let's take a quick look at the before and after on the turntable. Here side by side you can see with all the modifications like closing the chest and elongating the arms, together with the upgrade kit, the Night Bird does look very different and is indeed closer to what we see in the movie. And there's one last thing which is really fun. I actually made a Hello Kitty so that I can attach it to the back like the concept art. Okay, we've come to the end of the first part of the video. As you can see, the modification is not easy, but together with the upgrade kit, it makes Night Bird closer to what we see in the movie. And now we go to part 2, which is the painting. So let's go paint some plastic. To start the painting, we'll first take out all the upgrade parts. And we also separate the head, the backpack and the arms. Keep the clear part of the head somewhere safe so that we do not accidentally paint over it or damage it. We will separate the parts into two groups, where one will be primed black and the other will be sprayed with the flat coat. These are the parts that we will apply the black primer. And these are the parts that we apply the flat coat. After everything has dried, we'll apply the first color, which is the Huskwood Copper. Here's some notes for painting the legs. The copper color only appears on the side of the lower legs, so only paint those areas. You can also paint some of the smaller details in copper color so that there is some kind of continuity in the painting. And for the areas that we have retained the original color by spraying flat coat, you may want to run over the copper areas with the Huskwood Copper as well. This is to ensure that all the parts that are supposed to be in the copper color has the same tone throughout the figure. For some of the parts on the inner side of the car hood, I painted it with the black marker to create some kind of contrast. So don't worry if you smudge here, because we're going to tighten everything with the copper color in a while. So if you make any mistake with the black marker like smudges or overpainting, simply just paint over it with the Huskwood Copper. And there you go, we are done with the copper colored parts painting. Next up, the metallic purple. This is the closest color that you will get for Night Bird. Now, because this is a hard tip marker, it may be very difficult to paint in very small areas. So what I suggest is that you can actually squeeze out the paint and then reapplying it with a brush. For the purple area like the wings here, you can just simply paint with the hard tip marker. And that's it for the purple. Next we'll paint the claw and the face with gunmetal marker. And again for the eyes, we'll be using the Posca orange glitter marker. And for the swords, we'll use the fluorescent yellow to highlight all the small dots. And now we'll put everything back together to prepare for the dry brushing. As usual, we'll use the Runefang steel and we'll dry brush the whole figure. When you're doing this portion, it's always good to have a reference with you. Because Nightbird has this very silverish look where it's coated in a lot of scratches, it's good to keep looking at the reference so that you do not overdo it or you do not underdo it. And we've finished the dry brushing for the main body, so now we'll dry brush the hood of the car and also the weapons plus the wings. And here's how Nightbird looks like with all the dry brushing from the Runefang steel done. Next we'll add a little bit of Balthasar gold to simulate the rust, on certain areas only. This is to create some kind of contrast on top of the silvery scratch marks. And lastly, we'll use the metallic blue to give a little bit of highlight to the skirting. Oh, and one more thing I forgot, you need to paint the Hello Kitty and also to give it a little bit of dusting with the Vietnam Earth. And here's the finished painted custom. In this tutorial, we did not use any airbrushing at all, just only spray cans, marker and paintbrush. And you can see we managed to achieve a look that is very close to what we see in the movie. And with that, we've come to the end of the Nightbird tutorial video. Okay, so we've come to the end of today's video and I hope that you had a fun time watching it. So don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next. So we'll see you again in the next video. Bye!